Head up in the corner. Here's we take under 2 minutes to play. And a shot right in front, and they scored! Side of the net, they've scored again! 1 minute left in this second period, and the Icebergs have tied it up. Head toward the blue line. Pops back toward the other end. Hess with it now. 39 seconds to go. Into the zone. Hess with a couple of nice moves, and she scores!
This broadcast of Icebergs Hockey is brought to you through generous support of these WSTO supporters. Stoughton Hospital, a proud supporter of WSTO programming. Stoughton Hospital is a 2010 Wisconsin Forward Award Master recipient, providing exceptional personalized service. Trusted care close to home. The UPS Store of Stoughton. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it all in one place. 2364 Jackson Street, next to Papa Murphy's. Crest Funeral and Cremation Services, love and concern in action. The three things Crest values the most are service, service, and service. A proud supporter of WSTO programming.
And we welcome you to the Mant Center for high school girls hockey. Badger Conference action tonight. It's the Cap City Cougars it's the Sun Prairie Co-op and the Icebergs. Great to have you alongside with us here from the Mant Center. James Weingard with you on the Iceberg Television Network. And the Cap City Cougars, the Sun Prairie Co-op, they are currently 3-0-1 in the Badger Conference, and they are 5-2-4 overall. And the Icebergs still looking for their first conference win of the season, and they are 3-10-0 overall, and coming off of a winning 3 out of their last 4 games. And we will get the starting lineup, rest of the starting lineup here for the Icebergs.
At forward, number 3, Hannah Smith. At forward, number 10, Kit Olsen. And at forward, number 21, Mallory Cuff. Followed by the rest of the Icebergs.
So again, for the Icebergs tonight, it'll be Mackenzie Nishis, who played her heart out against the Lakeshore Lightning earlier this week on Tuesday, and did a fine job in preserving a 4-3 win. And then Hannah Smith, Kit Olsen, Mallory Cuff, Tegan Rupiper, and Sydney Urso, the starters for the Icebergs. And for the Cap City Cougars, in goal, it'll be number 1, Taylor Thornton. Other starters, Margot Thousand, Jada Ward, Camille Baker, Annika Johnson, and Colleen Milligan. Head coach for the Cap City Cougars is Jeff Thornton, and the head coach for the Icebergs is Matt Gallagher. And we will get our national anthem here in just a second. Again, great to have you along with us for our matchup here, Badger Conference matchup between the Cap City Cougars and the Icebergs. And right now we're going to pause to honor America with the playing of our national anthem. There's our national anthem for you.
Generosity of our friends at Cougars tonight is yet another.
And now we'll have the
One of you lucky shot
opening face-off here in just a couple minutes.
frozen custard for a year tonight, and we also have
Both
some
teams
baskets
huddled up.
to be given out. So
The Cap City Cougars in their black and gray uniforms down here to our left. The Icebergs down to our right. They are huddled up around Mackenzie Nishis. And we get ready for high school girls hockey here from the Mann Center. There's a look at the standings in the Badger Conference. Again, the Cap City Cougars 3-0-1 in the conference, are 5-2-4 overall. Icebergs 0-4-0 and 3-10-0. And again, the Icebergs coming off of that really nice win on Tuesday of this week against the Lakeshore Lightning, an independent team, and that was a 4-3 win for the Icebergs. Earlier, the Icebergs had played in a tournament in Rhinelander. They beat Beaver Dam Randolph 7-1, lost to Medford 6-4, beat Beaver Dam Randolph a second time, and that was a 7-6 win, and then lost to Arrowhead 5-0. And meanwhile, on the other side, Cap City has had a decent season, as they usually do. Their last game was a tie against the Fox City Stars. They lost to Fond du Lac 3-1, beat Rochester Mayo. And here's a shot that gets redirected way up high into the ceiling and out of play. Beat Rochester Mayo by a score of 2-1. Beat Cambridge Asante in the Schwann Cup. Lost there 1-0, and beat Prairie Center in the Schwann Cup 3-2. And beat the Lakeshore Lightning by a score of 1-0. Icebergs have it, and this is Mallory Cuff with it, and she'll send it behind the Cougars' net. Cuff comes away with it, pokes it over here toward the circle, and the Cougars will start the rush. And now right down the middle of the ice, back over to this side, kicked ahead by Colleen Milligan. Puck comes back out to neutral. And now still in front of the Iceberg bench. Now Milligan overskated it, and Brenna Benuelos with it. Backhand shot that goes well wide of the net. And behind the net is Aaron Olson, popped up high in the air into the circle. Icebergs chip it out toward the blue line. Cougars able to hold the zone down toward the corner. They poke it behind the net. And it comes over to the corner here on this side. Now back behind the net once again and off to the far side wall. Bailey Hadley had it for the Cougars, and now Icebergs bring it out. Sophia Macero sends it into the Cougars zone and behind the net. 15:20 to play, opening period, up along this near side. Carson Sheridan with it, and it finally does slide out of the zone, and now all the way down to the other end, and this is going to be icing against the Cougars, and so we'll get a face-off back down to the Cap City zone with 15:05 left here in the opening period. Cap City scoring 1.92 goals per game on the season. They give up 1.77 goals as they wrap this one around the corner and up the near side. Cougars tip it out of the zone all the way down to the Iceberg end. It's a race all the way down there to see who's going to play it first. They bang into the corner, comes right in front, loose puck, and it ends up off in the corner. Icebergs trying to clear, could not. It's held up in the zone down to the corner. Now Mary Goss had it for the Cap City Cougars. And they'll send it back around behind the net, and they'll come over to the corner here on this side. 14:30 to go in the first. Out to the point, held in by Cap City and chopped down in the slot, and it skipped underneath the stick of Elise Olson. And now the Icebergs will be able to clear it. Icing will be called against the Icebergs, and we'll get a face-off in the Iceberg zone here with 14-17 to go. Nice crowd on hand here at the Mann Center tonight. Stands across the way fairly full. Face-off in the Iceberg zone. And this one is won by Cap City. Top of the circle, bounding puck goes right through the slot and through the crease and ends up here in the corner. Nishis, I don't think, ever got a glove or stick on it. And a centering pass goes through the slot and comes out here to the top of the circle. Icebergs will be able to clear. And moving through traffic is Mallory Koff. Over to the far side, that skipped underneath the stick of Hannah Smith. And the Cap City Cougars bring it behind their own net, held in down there by Sydney Urso, and she'll throw it down to the corner. Collected there by Brenna Benuelos. And now out of the zone, Urso sends it back in. She got upended. Spinning puck goes right in toward the junior Taylor Thornton, the goalie for the Cougars. And now collecting it is Carson Sheridan, and she'll send it ahead through the middle of the ice, and the Icebergs' Hannah Smith touches it back out to neutral. Sent right back in, though, by Jada Ward. Ward around traffic. Ward with a shot and a score. .342 the time of the goal. So Jada Ward gets the first goal of the night to make it 1-0 Cap City. Puck comes sliding here on this side in front of the Icebergs bench. Now a backhand shot got redirected by Kelsey Waldner. They'll bound it back out toward the blue line. Cap City holds the zone. And now Araya Karatko sends it over here to the near side. Back toward the middle. Waldner has it. Icebergs start the rush. Long pass, and that's going to be icing against the Icebergs. So another face-off coming back down to their zone here. 12:45 to play in the first period. .12:45 to go in the first. Face-off coming in the Iceberg zone after the icing call. And this is a pass that goes through the slot, ends up here in the corner on this side. And it slides back behind the net. Waldner sends it around the bend to the other side, held in by the Cap City Cougars. And the Icebergs not able to clear it. Trying to pick her way through traffic was one of the Cougar players. Didn't see exactly who that was. And over on the far side, this is going to be held in again. Mackenzie Rosen sends it down to the corner. And a backhand shot, save made by Nishis, and swept over to the far side corner. 12:06 to go in the first. Here's a blast and a penalty coming up here in the slot. Extra attacker comes on. It's going to be an Iceberg penalty, and it's going to be interference. Araya Karatko heads to the box for interference, so Cap City is on the power play for the first time tonight. And off the face-off, Cap City wins it out to the high slot. Over to the top of the circle here on this side, and this is Annika Johnson. She'll send it down to the corner. Back out toward the high slot, that's taken away. Jada Ward, who scored, and they've got another goal. .519 the time of the goal here. Colleen Milligan gets the goal this time. So power play goal for Cap City at the 5:19 mark gives the Cougars a 2-0 lead. And here they come again. Ward sends it down to the corner and behind the net. 11.5 minutes to go in the first, and now the race is back. Race is on to the other end. Emily Wolin first to catch up to it, and then she lost control as Anna Dubois has it behind the net. Bounding puck, Karatko holds the zone. It goes through the slot, high slot, over to the far side. Waldner trying to hold the zone there, could not, as the puck slides back down toward the Iceberg end. Approaching 11 minutes to play here in the opening period. Cap City has scored twice, an even strength goal and a power play goal here in the first. Annika Johnson starting a rush, and then a puck got taken off of her stick. And now Cap City challenging again. Nish is able to make the save that time. Iceberg's going to try and clear, could not. Zephyrin Yeager sends it off to the corner, and she bounced up toward the point. Held in there by the Cap City Cougars. Back down to the corner now for Sheridan. Sheridan around traffic. Moves out to the high slot. Circle on the near side. Shot. And off the top of her face mask. Hit her in the top of the head and bounced off the top of her head and then backwards into the goal, and Cap City has scored again. Zephyrin Jager has the goal this time. And so two goals, a minute and 20 apart, have given the Cougars a 3-0 lead now. Icebergs have called timeout. And they are going to regroup to try and stem the tide here as the Cap City Cougars have opened up a 3-goal lead here in the early stages of this contest, as we're not even 7 minutes in. We're at 10:21 to go in the opening period right now. Referee signal we're ready to play again. So coming out of the timeout, we'll get a face-off at the center circle, as the last action was a goal by the Cougars. And this is Hannah Smith trying to start the rush for the Icebergs, but that's sent back in to the Iceberg zone by the Cougars. They'll hold the zone again. Bounding puck heading toward the middle, and that'll be wiped out. And now it's Mallory Cuff with it. Mallory sends it into the Cougar zone. And off the rebound, sharp angled shot. They whack at it a few times, finally came back through again to Thornton, and she just sweeps it off to the corner. Olivia Thompson with it. And now a bounding puck goes through the slot, and here comes a breakaway opportunity for the Cougars. Getting back on defense, Rupiper sweeps it out of harm's way. Nice job defensively there by Tegan Rupiper for the Icebergs, and she has it behind the net. Trying to send it back to the other side. Gets rejected right back to her feet. 9.5 minutes to go in the opening period. Big pile up and collision, pile of bodies right in front of the net. Puck gets redirected behind the net, and they'll send it back to the other side. First to play it is Sydney Urso for the Icebergs. She'll feed it up the far side corner, out to the point, and now the Icebergs start a rush across the blue line, picked off of Taylor Nishis' stick, and it comes back out to neutral ice. Right along the red line now, the Cougars collect it. Icebergs trying to get it back again. Taylor Nishis carries it in. Tries to center it. She does, but it went a little bit too far in front of Sophia Macero, and she tried to center it, but that got intercepted by the Cougars. Back out to neutral ice now. It's Kelsey Waldner, and she'll send it in to the Cougar zone. 8:42 to play here in the opening period. And up the near side wall, they chip at it, and Karatko able to hold the zone. Cougars have it, though, and here they come. Across the blue line comes Olivia Thompson. Thompson tripped up, down she goes. She got hacked at by Waldner, and it will be another power play coming for the Cougars. So Kelsey Waldner, the freshman from Stoughton, heads to the box after a tripping call. And another power play now for the Cougars. They've converted on their one other power play already tonight. And this face-off won by the Cougars out to the high slot. Settled there by Montana Cruz. Now to the other side, moving in, Jada Ward with a shot. That goes wide of the mark to the left side. 8:12 to play here in the first period. His pass goes down here to this near side, and now they'll flip it around the corner. Ward waits for it, top of the circle, and she will get it back in the circle. Moves toward the middle, settles it down, and comes back to the high slot. Little drop pass, and that is blocked aside by Nishes. Rebound is steered over to the corner. Ward has it back again. She'll take a wind-up blast, and Nishes had it, and it was chopped out of her hands and into the goal. So another power play goal for the Cougars.
6-14.
Margot 1000 with the goal. Time of this goal, 9:14. And Margot 1000 with the goal. Jada Ward gets the assist. So two power play goals for the Cougars here tonight. 7.5 minutes to play in the opening period. A chip along the far side wall and swept in by the Cougars. Puck goes sliding behind the Iceberg net. Tegan Rupiper forces it along up this near side wall. And around the bend over back to the other side. Held in over there by Jenna Jager. And then back behind the net, that will go to Brenna Benuelos into the middle. Centering pass got swept aside, and it comes back out to neutral ice. Sent back in by Allison Mengel. And now behind the net, Rupiper fires it back into the corner. Less than 7 minutes to play here in the opening period. Puck is out to neutral. And Jenna Jager sends it back into the Iceberg zone. 6:43 clock running here. Late stages, first period. 4 goals by the Cougars here in the first. Backhand shot swept aside by Nishes and tracked down over there by Leah Sexton. And it comes out to neutral. And Emily Woline sends it to the blue line. Now coming back the other way. And this will be tipped away. Hannah Smith has it for a second. Gets it back to the blue line. And they will bring it back into neutral. Tracked all the way down to the corner now. They play it off the boards, back behind the Cougar net. Karatko holds the zone. Tracked down by Mallory Cuff. Centering pass. Tried to get it in front to Kit Olsen. The stick got in the way of the pass, though. And now back out to the red line. Hannah Smith will have it for the Icebergs. She'll send it back into the Cougar zone. And we're down to 5:47 to play in the first period. Up along the far side wall, held in at the blue line for a second. Now the Cougars collect it and clear it out. Long pass in toward Nishes, and the Cougars will get a line change. 5.5 minutes to go in the first. Waldner gets it back off the errant pass. Waldner still with it, top of the circle, tried to center it. But Margot 1000's stick got in the way of the pass, and the Cougars will start the rush now toward the middle. Off to the far side, Ward has it. Ward into the circle, spins off to the far side, and that goes to Colleen Milligan, and she gets trapped down in the corner. Ward has it back now behind the net, finds Tegan Rupiper here in the near side, who becomes her shadow. Top of the circle, or in the circle, or near the circle on this near side. 4:50 to play. Ward slams her stick down as she heads down the slot, trying to pass it to herself behind her back. Couldn't. And now the Icebergs clear it back over toward the wall on that far side. Somebody lost a stick. Here's a shot. Blocker pad save made by Nishis, and it goes back into the circle on the far side. Icebergs try and hammer it out of the zone. They cannot. 4:27 to play in the first period. Right at the blue line now. It does finally come out. Anna Dubois has it, and now back into the Iceberg zone. Rue Piper, long pass ahead over to the far side. Touch in toward the middle. Now coming up on this near side is Macero, but it was Montana Cruz catching up to it first. They try and send it toward the middle. However, the puck went behind the net. And now up this near side wall. Icebergs hold the zone for the time being, and the Cougars are able to clear it. Comes out to neutral. And moving ahead is Alexis Kurt. Kurt all the way down to the corner. 3:45 to play in the first. And right in front, sticked aside by Nishis, and they'll chase it down over at the bottom of the circle on the far side. Now carried down to the corner. One of the Iceberg players got upended. That was Aaron Olson. Taylor Nishis battles for it over there, and now centering pass knocked away by Karatko, and the Icebergs will clear it out. And out to Macero. Got it into the zone, hit a skate, and ricocheted right back out. Coming back the other way now is Kendra Sanderfoot. She'll throw it down to the corner, and it will be Waldner first to play it for the Icebergs. 3:05, 3:04, 3:03 to play here in the first period. Bounding puck side of the net. Waldner forces it into the corner, and pass goes behind the net. Now to the corner here on this side. They'll get it back to the point where it's popped up high in the air, slides through the middle. Held in by the Cougars, bounding puck, sticked aside by Nishis, and then Waldner sends it off to the corner a little bit further. Waldner will get it back, and they'll force it along to the circle. 2.5 minutes to play, 2:33 to go to be exact. Play it off the glass, and now out of the zone. 2:20 left. Back into the zone. Waldner sends it back out toward the red line. Carried right back in by the Cougars, though. Moving in toward the middle. Shot. Save made on the blocker pad side. Rebound loose, and it's picked up behind the net. 2:05 to play in the first. Centering pass goes through the crease and ends up over along the far side. Sheridan had it for the Cougars. Cleared out. Sheridan's got it back. Gets whacked at from Kit Olson. Ends up going right in it on goal. And Mackenzie Nishis covers it up, and we get a stoppage of play here with 1:48 left. .148 to play in the first. Puck hung up in the circle, just sat there for a good couple of seconds. And now it's poked out, and that's bopped off of the face mask of Mallory Cuff. Top of the circle, and Olson sends it back toward the point, but not out. 1.5 to play in the opening period. Trip behind the net, and this is going to be a Cougar penalty on a trip. So the Icebergs will have a power play now for the first time tonight. Carson Sheridan, the junior from Wanakee, heads off for tripping. Should mention Cap City, they have players from DeForest, Madison East, Madison La Follette, Sun Prairie, and Wanakee.
Carson Sheridan.
1:27 to play in the opening period. Face-off won by the Icebergs as it gets dumped down to the corner. 1:21 to play in the period. Centering pass gets knocked aside, goes into the circle, and the Cougars will clear it out. Retreating is Sophia Macero, and she'll pick it up. And a near giveaway. Long pass ahead. That's popped aside by Jenna Ward, and she'll carry it into the Iceberg zone. And we are down to a minute to go. And here's a giveaway. Moving in on a breakaway and a shot and a save made by Nishis. Nice job there. Shot taken from Annika Johnson. Olson Johnson had it back for the Cougars. 1:15 to play in the penalty, 39 seconds to go in the period, so there'll be some carryover time. Back down to the corner now. Cap City carries it right in front of Nishes. Oh, save made, and here's a wind-up blast from Ward. Got more ice than puck that time. Iceberg's going to try and steer it out of the zone. They cannot. Johnson sends it down to the circle. She'll get it back right into the slot, and then taken away from her. 14, 13, 12 seconds left in the penalty. In the period, I should say. And now down to 7. Icebergs not going to allow this one to get any further. And we have reached the end of the first period. There'll be 34 seconds of carryover penalty time into the second period. And we have reached the end of the first with our score, the Cap City Cougars 4 and the Icebergs nothing. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Second period coming up. This is high school girls hockey, the Badger Conference on the Iceberg Television Network. Welcome back to the Mant Center on the Iceberg Television Network. It is 4-0. The Cap City Cougars lead over the Icebergs at the first intermission. Taking a look at our scoring summary from the first period, at 3:42, Jada Ward got the first goal of the game. And then at 5:19, it was Colleen Milligan, a power play goal to make it 2-0. And then Zephyrin Jager at 6:39 to make it 3-0. And then Margot Thousand rounded out the scoring in that first period at 9:14. That another power play goal, and that made it 4-0. Taking a look at our Stoughton Hospital stats report through the first period, and looking like this: 22 shots on goal for the Cougars, 5 shots for the Icebergs, 5 saves for the Cougars goalie Taylor Thornton, and 18 saves for Mackenzie Nishes for the Icebergs. The Cap City Cougars had 1 penalty for 2 minutes, and there'll be 34 seconds of carryover time into the second period. And the Icebergs had 2 penalties for 4 minutes in that first period. Actually, we were talking about it. It was more like about 2 penalties for 35 seconds or so in that first period, because Cap City scored so quickly after the penalties were called. And that is a check on the Stoughton Hospital stats report through this first period. And a reminder for you that you can find Tom Hartman, one of America's leading progressive voices, and you can find him weekdays at 1 on WSTO TV with the Tom Hartman program. And then Democracy Now!, an independent look at the news that shapes our world. It's Democracy Now!, weekdays at 2 on WSTO. And on Saturday mornings, Betty Boop and Superman and Casper the Friendly Ghost and all of your favorites. Saturday morning cartoons, 8 until noon on WSTO. Also, you can keep up with the Icebergs a few different ways. icebergstv.com. You can find us on those channels, 981, 982, 983, 989, and 990. Facebook, how about Facebook? Let's try this again. Facebook.com/WSTO using the hashtag Icebergs. And you can also use Twitter at WSTO TV and using the hashtag Icebergs as well. And there we go. Muddled our way through that. Not exactly easily, but we got through it. So we head into the second period with the Icebergs trailing by a score of 4-0. Both teams just now coming back out onto the ice. And for the Icebergs, they've got a road game next week on Thursday at Rock County, and then they'll be home on Saturday, January 14th, as part of a doubleheader. They'll be home against Wapaka. That'll be a noon start, and then Tuesday, January 17th, home against Brookfield, and then Friday, January 20th, against Viroqua. And then our last girls' regular season game here at the Mant Center is going to be on Tuesday, January 24th. That'll be against the Badger Lightning. So 4 more girls' games for you along the line here on the Icebergs Television Network. And just like the magic of television, one more game just popped up onto the schedule. Look at that. All right. So Icebergs on a power play for another 34 seconds. Icebergs only have 4 players out. Here comes a 5th one now. And off we go to begin period number 2. Montana Cruz had it for the Cougars, and now bringing it back is Margot Thousand, who has one of the goals for the Cougars here tonight. Quickly back, Zephyrin Jager. She also has one of the goals. Out to the point, held in there. And Kit Olson has it for the Icebergs. Penalty is done. Both teams are back to full strength. And this is going to be icing against the Icebergs, but they wave that off as the Cougars touch it before it crosses the goal line. Olson for the Icebergs sends it down to the corner. Off to the circle now, and a centering pass. Nobody there except Cougar players, and it ends up all the way over to the corner on this side where Macero had it for a second for the Icebergs. Back out to the point, held in there for a second, now cleared out, and the rush is on all the way down to the other end. Carson Sheridan first to play it for the Cougars. That centering pass goes through the slot and ends up all the way back out to the point. And from the high slot, save made by Nishis. And then out to the circle. Centering pass got knocked down by bodies. Icebergs clearing pass, trying to get out of harm's way. Nish is able to just poke it back toward the top of the circle. Olivia Thompson sends it around the bend to the other side. Now Macero trying to clear the zone for the Icebergs. Cannot. Actually did. It bounced off her skates. Now coming back is Erin Olson. Olson with a shot, and that's a riser that Taylor Thornton picks out of the air above the crossbar. 15:09 to go, second period. Face off in the Cougar zone. Puck hung up in the circle. Now centering pass that went behind Taylor Nishis and ends up over here in the corner. We're 2 minutes gone here in the second. On the far side, that's a bump from behind from Tegan Rupiper, and she ended up going down too. Into the circle. That bounced off of a knee. And right in front, that swept aside, redirected by Rupiper from right in front of her own goal. Centering pass, that gets knocked away, blocked down. Another one. Now it finally does get in the slot. Shot is sticked aside by Nishis and chased down by the Cougars. Another centering pass that went right past Tegan Rupiper, who had set up defensively. Rupiper whacks it out of the zone and back down to the Cougar zone. And Olivia Thompson has it for Cap City. And taken away from her into the circle. Shot, save made, and covered up by Thornton. Good scoring chance there by the Icebergs, and Thornton equal to the task. 14-13 to go in the second, and their score remains 4-0. Face off in the Cougar zone as it comes up along the near side wall. They've got puck sliding all the way down to the other end. Icing is called against the Cougars, and we'll get a face-off back down to their zone. Mentioned the Iceberg schedule a moment ago for the Cap City Cougars. They've got a couple of games coming up here. They'll be at Onalaska on Tuesday, January 10th, home against Viroqua and Wanakee, at Brookfield, and then home against Onalaska. And then at the Badger Lightning and at the Metro Lynx, which should be a pretty decent game. Just under 14 minutes to play here in the second period. And the Cougars start a rush. Here's a 2-on-none break. Jada Ward with it. Ward, nice pass across, and they will score. Colleen Milligan with the goal from Ward, and it is 5-0. 3:16 the time of the goal. We're going to get the official word here in a second. I think he said Ward got the goal, but I think the pass went back to Milligan, but we'll find out here officially right now. Yeah, they're going to give the goal to Jada Ward. That'll be her second. Got a penalty called right down below us. And it's going to be a Cap City penalty. Zephyrin Jager goes in for a cross check. So the Icebergs on a power play again for a couple minutes. Trailing 5-0. I think he announced the wrong name. He said 10 for the Icebergs is in, but I think it's 10 for Cap City that's in the box. Yeah. So Zephyrin Jager is in the box for the Cougars. Araya Karatko with it. She'll send it back out to neutral. And moving ahead, Shannon King. 1:19 left in the penalty. Lifted high in the air and all the way down by the Cougars. They'll clear it out. Icebergs will have to go back and retreat and pick it up. Kelsey Waldner with it behind her own net. And a giveaway into the circle. Out to the point. Held in by the Cougars. Tried to get it back into the circle. Now they do from Milligan. Elizabeth Hansen, 23. Centering pass. They were able to beat Nicias again. This time a shorthanded goal. 5:07 time of the goal. Annika Johnson with the goal.
Grab 2 pucks and go.
Annika Johnson with the shorthanded goal. And that is the 6th goal. There's a look at Zephyrin Jager, who's sitting in the penalty box. She's got 45 seconds to sit back yet. And it looks like we have we may have a change in goalie here. Derek, if you can check in the number on the goalie for Cap City, confirm if that's 18 for me. If it is, that's Lucy Rosenthal that will be in. Okay. 18 is now in goal. That's Lucy Rosenthal. She's a senior from Sun Prairie and replaces Taylor Thornton. That pass goes through the crease. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Swept back toward Sydney Urso. Urso has it for the Icebergs, carrying it in down to the corner. So now we're in running time, 6 goals in the second period or later. And a centering pass, still in the slot, and the Cougars will be able to clear it out. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Clock runs with 11:11 to go And now moving in, shot, and that one's knocked down. Penalty is over. Both teams are back to full strength and across the ice to the other side. Across the blue line is shot that gets knocked down by Ashlyn Hessler, and she's down hurt. That may have hit her right in the side. Big pile up right in front of Nishes. She sticks it off to the corner. Back to the point, bounding puck, stick to side again. Over to the corner on this side. Now we've got a stoppage of play as the net came off of its spot. So again, we're now in running time here in the second period. Face off in the Iceberg zone, and the Cougars win it. Ends up in the corner as they hammer it around the boards up this near side, and the Icebergs will be able to essentially just kick it out of the zone. Over to the far side. That was Erin Olson. And now we've got a whistle, and it's going to be an offside call. Off the faceoff, this is won by Cap City. They send it into the zone. Tegan Rupipe will be first to play it for the Icebergs. Sends it back behind her own net. Waldner swung and missed at the puck. Ends up in the corner. Bottom of the circle, tried to center it. Waldner's stick got in the way of it. And now it spins toward the side of the net. They get it in front. Rupiper hammers it over toward the wall. Penalty coming up here, and it's going to be a slash. So another penalty coming up now. Elise Olson goes into the box for Cap City, and the Icebergs will be on a power play again. Clock stopped with 9:20 to go. This will be the third attempt at a power play tonight for the Icebergs as it heads over to the far side. Ooh, and a trip from behind, and this is going to be another Cap City penalty. So now the Icebergs will have a 5-on-3 advantage. And this time it's Margot Thousand that heads into the box. So there are two Cap City players sitting in the box now. 9:10 to play in the second. And the Icebergs have a 5-on-3 power play for almost a full 2 minutes. Puck slides all the way down to the other end. And Waldner will be first to play it for the Icebergs. Played off the board. And out of the zone, right to Jada Ward for the Cougars. He'll just fire it back into the zone, into the corner. Sydney Urso has it for the Icebergs now. Minute and 25 left in the first penalty. Urso ahead, and that goes to Macero, and a takeaway, and now they're going to start the rush back the other way. Milligan has it. Milligan shorthanded, shot, and that goes through the crease and over to this far side, near side. Urso with it again. 108, 107, 106 left in the first penalty. Cap City clears it again. Less than a minute to go in the first penalty. And there's 9 seconds difference between the two penalties. So a near giveaway. And now it is. Jada Ward with it into the circle. Shot. Oh, boy. Nice save that time. Picking it out of the air on a quick wrister from Jada Ward. Mackenzie Nishes just snapped it out of the air. So we're down to 8 minutes to go in the period. And again, running time here, we're down to 35, 34, 33 seconds left in the first penalty. And then just 10 more seconds after that to run out the second one. Spinning puck behind the net. And now Araya Karatko with it up the near side. Back to the blue line. And Karatko with it again. 10 seconds left in the first penalty. That bounced off of Maddie Menace's skate. And now they fire it in. Leah Sexton sends it down to the corner, and it goes behind the net. First penalty is done. Second one has 10 seconds. Icebergs, Sydney Urso holds the zone. Urso heads down toward the corner, and then behind the net, centered right in front. Big pile up there, and it comes back to Karatko. Second penalty is done. Now we're back to 5-on-5. And a centering pass again, and that kind of wobbles its way over toward the far side. They give that away, and it comes back out. Nice job getting back defensively was Karatko, and moving back in is Maddie Menes. Here's a turnaround shot from Olsen. Puck ends up side of the net, and then kind of dribbles down into the corner. Cougars clear it, icing called, and a face-off in the Cap City zone with the clock running, and we're approaching 6.5 to play in the second. Four goals for Cap City in the first period, 2 more here in the second. And off the face-off, this is heading back out toward the point, now cleared out by Cap City with help down the middle, and they will get it to her. That's Elise Olsen down to the corner, poked off of her stick by Shannon King. Olsen has it back, battling with King. And now Mary Goss. Olsen has it back again. Behind the net. Comes back in front. And then covered up. Face off in the Iceberg zone. 5.5 minutes to play. Drawn over to the top of the circle, now kicked along up on top by Anna Dubois. Back into the circle on this side, centers one right into the slot, and a nice glove save again by Nishis, and she'll hold on this time. Shot was taken by Zephyrin Jager. We hit 5 minutes to play here in the second. Same setup again, and that's a giveaway. Hannah Smith is going to race back to the other end for the Icebergs, and then she gets muscled out of the play, and Jager sends it right back to the other end. Sheridan first to play it for Cap City, right in front, save made by Nishis. Long pass back out to neutral, settled down there by Anna Dubois. And she'll kick it into the zone. 4:31 to play in the second period. Pop it along the wall on that far side. Goes past Montana Cruz. She'll chase it down, back in her own zone, carries it behind her own net. And an almost giveaway. Now it spins out to neutral, and the Cougars start the rush up the near side. Jager with it. Centering pass, and that shot goes just wide to the left. Neutralized pass on the far side of the net. Coming up on 4 minutes left here in the second. Puck slides through the slot and the circle here on this near side. Kendra Sanderfoot sends it down to the corner, taken away from her by Leah Sexton. And now out to the top of the slot, skipped underneath the stick. This is an onside play, 45 to go in the second period. And back over to the other side now. Held up in the corner and back behind the net. Cougars control it back to the circle. High slot now. Bounding puck. Nishis makes a save, still loose. Icebergs cleared out of harm's way, and it slides all the way back down to the other end. And this will be icing against the Icebergs. Clock runs 3:20, 3:19, 3:18 to go. Icebergs took the first 2 penalties of the game and promptly gave up 2 goals. So 2 power play goals tonight for the Cougars. And then the Cougars have had the last 4 penalties and nothing on the board except a shorthanded goal for the Cougars on that last penalty. 2:45 to play in the second period. Delayed offside. Now everybody touches up for Cap City. Over to the far side now. It is Ashlyn Hessler into the corner. And she chips it along and poked out. Coming back is Emily Woline for the Icebergs. Has some help down the middle if they can get it to her. However, she gets muscled out of the play by Colleen Milligan. 2:22 left in the second. Cougars have it behind their own net. They start up the far side. Now back toward the middle. Hung up at the top of the circle and then chipped back out to neutral. Pushed ahead, wobbling toward Nishes, and she will come out of the crease to cover it up. 2 minutes to play and clock running here late in the second. Face off in the Iceberg zone. Back to the point off the face-off. Swing and a miss on the shot, or on the pass perhaps, and now pushed along by Erin Olsen. Back into the Iceberg zone. Puck just below the blue line. Now it's a 3-on-1. This has bad news written all over it, but the Iceberg's able to deflect that as it bounces off of a stick and goes high into the net over the glass out of play. So face-off coming in the Iceberg zone here. As we approach the last minute of the second period. Off the face-off, Jada Ward has it. And she left it, but for the wrong team. Erin Olsen picked it up. Now we're under a minute to go here in the second period. Out to the point, and that's a big collision. Karatko got knocked down. Karatko's got it back. Pass ahead up this near side. That goes to Taylor Nishes. She couldn't control it, though, as Cap City will play it back in front of their own bench. And along the blue line, Camille Baker sends it back. 25 seconds left in the second. Waldner with it. Pass back through neutral. Now into the middle. Olsen has it. And we're down to 13, 12, and 11 seconds to go. Cap City carries it back behind the net with 8, 7, and 6 seconds left. They'll spin it all the way down to the other end. Icing is going to be called, but with a running clock, that's going to spell the end of the second period. 2 more goals for Cap City here in the second. Give them a 6-0 lead over the Icebergs, and we will step away for our second intermission. Third period coming up. This is high school girls hockey, the Badger Conference, on the Iceberg Television Network. Back at the Mann Center on the Iceberg Television Network. James Weingard with you, and it is 6-0. The Cap City Cougars lead over the Icebergs in this one, and in the second period it was Jada Ward at 3:16 to give the Cougars a 5-0 lead. That was her second goal of the game. And then Annika Johnson at 5:07, a shorthanded goal, and that made it 6-0, and that's where we stand at the moment. Shots on goal right now, 36 for the Cougars, only 8 for the Icebergs. 8 saves for the 2 goalies for the Cap City Cougars, Taylor Thornton and Lucy Rosenthal. And then 30 saves for Mackenzie Nishes for the Icebergs. Cap City with 4 penalties, 8 minutes in that for the game so far, and the Icebergs with 2 penalties and a total of 4 minutes. And so we get ready for the third period. A reminder for you that Tom Hartman is on weekday afternoons at 1 o'clock here on WSTO TV. And then Democracy Now! Weekdays at 2. And you can also find Saturday morning cartoons, of course, on Saturdays from 8 until noon every weekend. And coming up on the 14th, we're going to have Saturday morning cartoons, and then we're going to have a doubleheader of hockey for you. So how much better in life can that be? We'll have girls hockey for you at noon on WSTO and along the Iceberg Hockey Network, and then we'll have boys game at 2:30 Other girls' games coming up for you on the 17th of January, and then the 20th, and then also the 24th. Those other games all at 7 o'clock. Check icebergstv.com for more information. Both teams come out of their respective locker rooms here at the Matt Center, getting ready for period number 3. Again, 6-goal lead, and we'll have running time barring a goal by the Icebergs here in this third period without Cap City scoring anymore, of course. So the referees check the doors. The goalies get their creases ready, and now we are ready, just about ready to go here in this third period. Linesman referee gets a puck, heads out toward the middle, and checks with everybody, and now we're ready to go. And off the face-off, it will be Colleen Milligan for the Cougars. She'll send it off to Jada Ward, and she had it hacked away by Tegan Ruhpiper. Ward has it back, top of the circle, around traffic, into the circle, around 2 players, and centering pass, shot, save made by Nishis, and puck clearly kept out of the goal. So face-off in the Iceberg zone here, just underway, third period, again running time. Kit Olsen with it around the corner and out to the point, held in by the Cougars, back to the circle, and they'll send it further to Olsen, and now it rolls, and it does come above the blue line, so everybody will have to touch up, sent back into the Iceberg zone. Now they'll send it across, and that's intercepted by Milligan, and she'll send it into the zone. 15:45 to go in the third. Puck track down here in the corner. And back out to neutral now. Karatko with it. Sends it across the red line. Taken by the Cougars. They'll come right down the middle and then off to the circle and then to the corner. Centering pass goes through the slot and bounces off the wall here on this near side. Icebergs clear the zone. Hannah Smith tried to reach back behind her for the pass, but Carson Sheridan is first to play it for the Cougars back in her own zone. Here's a giveaway to the Icebergs, top of the circle. And they'll carry it down to the corner. Aaron Olsen will. And a shot from the circle, and that's swept through. Back out to the point and out of the zone. Across the ice to the middle, and that is Annika Johnson, who had a goal, the last goal for the Cougars. A little over 2 minutes gone here in the third. Puck loose right down here in front of us at neutral ice. Johnson again with it. And Olsen. Camille Baker sends it across to the other side. 3 players tap a stick toward the puck, and it ends up rolling down into the Iceberg end. Sydney Urso with it. She'll force it out back toward the blue line, held in by the Cougars, and now back into the corner here over here, and they'll send it back around to the other side where Taylor Nishis waits for it. Back to the top of the circle and now cleared out. Camille Baker with it, and now sent in a little bit too far in front of Zephyrin Jager as it ends up in the corner and then behind the net. And that's an errant pass as it's all the way back down to the other end. Allison Mengelt has it for the Cougars. She overskated it behind their own net. Comes up this near side. 13:40 to play in the game. And now Alexis Kurt with help on the other side. Kurt, nice pass across. Backhand shot. Oh, and that one goes just wide to the right. 13:30 to play. Back in front again. Now to the high slot. Icebergs try and clear, and they will not quite be able to get it out of the zone. Now they do. Mangold has it again for the Cougars. Back through the middle. Tegan Rupiper has it now for the Icebergs and pop back down to the Iceberg zone. Over to the far side, and it will be Shannon King sending it toward the Cougar zone. Rupiper has it back in the Iceberg end. Jada Ward gives chase for the Cougars. She'll send it along the far side wall, bounced off the wall, and icing called against Cap City, and they'll get a face-off back to the Cougars zone as the clock runs with 12:34, 33, and 32 to play here in period number 3. Puck loose at the top of the slot, and then between the circles. Now Ward will pick it up here for the Cougars up the near side. She'll get around Karatko, and Ward has it back in the corner. Approaching 12 minutes to play here in the contest, and around to the other side. Icebergs get tripped up over there and out of the zone. Puck slides down to the Cougars zone. It settles in over here on this near side. Swing and a miss on a pass from Jasmine Schwarzkopf. And now the Cougars start the rush back the other way. Montana Cruz has it into the middle. And this will be hung up at the circle, popped up high in the air, and it falls at the base of the wall on the far side. Elizabeth Hansen had been set up over there for the Cougars. Puck right at the blue line, and the Icebergs able to finally clear it out. 11:12 to play in the third. Montana Cruz sends it back all the way down to the other end. They wave icing off this time. Sydney Urso will be first to play it for the Icebergs. She'll send it to the corner. And then Carson Sheridan has it. And now Olsen, side of the net. Bounding puck across or along the blue line. Goss down to the corner again. And that is Elise Olsen, and the puck slides back to neutral. 10:35 to play. Fired into the zone by Sheridan. And up to the far side point. Icebergs trying to mount a little bit of a rush. Now they pin it up along the wall. Referee says play on. 5 players chip away at it over there. And it finally comes into the circle now right in the middle. Here's a point-blank shot, save made by Nishis. Turnaround shot again. Nishis makes another save, and then finally it gets loose at the top of the crease and slides in on the left side of the goal. So Elise Olsen gets credit for the goal. 7 minutes and 2 seconds in. Jager gets an assist, and it is now 7-0. 9:40 to play here in the third. Jager with it for the Cougars, held in by Rupiper. And now out. Here comes a 3-on-1 opportunity for the Cougars as they will get it to the middle. And off the post, rebound, put back, score again. And Zephyrin Jager gets the goal this time. So that makes it 8-0. 2 goals in 39 seconds. 9:19 to play. And the puck on its edge, rolling back toward the Cougar blue line. Solely McCauley carried it into the corner for Cap City. We're under 9 minutes to play in the third in an 8-goal difference. And that's taken away by Erin Olson. Olson picking her way through traffic. She's 1-on-3, finally got dislodged from it. And now coming back the other way is Maria Griffiths. She tried to center it, but Kelsey Waldner got in the way. 8.5 minutes to play in the game. Spinning puck offside, just came out of the zone. And so offside called against the Cougars, and we'll get a face-off just outside of the Iceberg zone. Eight minutes to play. And this is going to be hung up right below the blue line. And now the Cougars just send it in to the corner. 7:45 to go. Not out. Bounding puck right in on Nishes, and she sweeps it back toward the wall. They chip it along the far side wall, and they'll clear it out. Foot race back to the other end. Cougars catch up to it first and send it all the way across to the near side. They bound it off the wall, come back out to neutral. Jada Ward has it. Ward is, well, she was 1-on-3. A little drop pass out to the top of the circle, and that shot got deflected. Loose puck at the top of the crease. Nishes had stuck her stick out toward it, and they retreat over toward the wall. Another shot, save made by Nishes. Loose puck, and the putback is good. 32, Elizabeth Hansen is going to get the goal off the rebound. So Elizabeth Hansen with the goal. Penalty coming up here. It's going to be an Iceberg penalty. It's going to be a cross check on Tegan Rupiper as she skates off, and she will have a seat, as you see, in the penalty box. So power play now for the Cougars. They are 2 for 2 on power plays tonight. 6:40 to go in the third. Cap City leading by a margin of 9-0. And they have a player advantage now for 2 minutes. Here's a turnaround shot, ends up through the crease off to the corner. And the Icebergs clear it out. 6:22 to go in the game. 1:40 left in the Iceberg penalty. That's offside against the Icebergs. Clock runs as we come up on 6 minutes to play. 1:20 to go in the penalty. Face-off won by the Cougars. And it comes back to the red line. Popped in the air, back into the Cougars zone. They'll give chase down behind the net now. Minute to go in the penalty. Pile up at the blue line, and Hannah Smith sends it back in. Sticked aside by Lucy Rosenthal, the goalie for the backup goalie for the Cougars. Now a 3-on-2 coming back for the Cougars into the Iceberg zone. That centering pass got knocked aside by a couple of skates, and they'll settle it down in the circle. Centering pass again. Oh, swing and a miss by Brenna Benuelos. 20 seconds left, 5 minutes to go in the game. Another penalty coming up against the Icebergs. Right in front, Nicias makes the save, and we've got an interference call. So that will put Kelsey Waldner into the box for 2 minutes for interference. 4:39 to play in the third. And the Icebergs will play again with 4 for the next couple of minutes, barring a goal. They play it off the wall, down to the corner now, and back out to the point. 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Here's a shot, and that one squeaks through and ends up over here in the corner on this side. And the puck comes sliding out of the zone, back out to neutral ice. Collecting it there is Camille Baker, and she'll send it ahead to Mary Goss, and that one is flipped over the glass and into the stands. .136 left in the penalty, 4:15 left in the game. And off the face-off, it heads back into the Iceberg zone. Into the slot, now out to the high slot for Cruz. She'll get it back here as he drifts over toward the point. Top of the circle, shots. And another nice save there by Mackenzie Nicias. Minute left in the penalty, 3:37, 36, and 35 left in the third period. Out to the point, now to this side, and that's Goss. Her shot got knocked down in front, and then back out to neutral. And into the Cap City zone. Back into the circle, now out to the blue line. 22 seconds to go in the penalty, 3 minutes left in the game. They wave icing off. Behind the net and into the circle and not out. Alexis Kurt with it, and that goes right in on Nicias, and she pokes it over here to the near side wall. Penalty is done. 2:38 left in the game. Back down to the corner for the Cougars. Tried to get it in front. Blocked away. And they'll send it back around the corner. 2:20 to play. And now the Icebergs will start a rush up the middle. This is going to be Shannon King. And then King had it taken off of her stick by Mackenzie Rosen. Rosen goes coast to coast. Rosen centers one. Shot hit the side of the net. Nicias keeps the puck out, and it ends up over in the corner. Nish is slow to get up as the puck comes all the way back down to the Cap City zone. Now McKenzie's up. Looks like she's put herself back together with 1:40 left. Waldner up the far side, and the puck does come back out of the zone. Sheridan with it now. And she will drop it back out. Icebergs just play it off the wall, back out to neutral. 1:17, 16, and 15 to play. Coming back in is Jada Ward. Ward in the corner, centers it. A couple of players take each other out. And back out to neutral once again for Jenna Jager. Minute to go. They wave. There's no icing here. 50 seconds to play. Up the near side. Through neutral ice. Into the zone. Centering pass. And that goes through the slot over to the circle. And now the Icebergs will start a rush. Allison Mangel now popped out to neutral. Icebergs send it across to this near side in front of the penalty boxes. We're down to 15 seconds to play. And down to the corner with 10, 9, and 8. And this will slide back down toward the Cap City zone, and that is pretty much going to do it. We're down to 2, 1, and none. And that's the way this one will come to an end. Our final score tonight, the Cap City Cougars 9 and the Icebergs nothing. In that third period, it was Elise Olson at 7:02 to make it 7-0. Zephyrin Jager at 7:41 to make it 8-0, and then Elizabeth Hansen rounding out the scoring to make it 9-0. So as we update the stats, then or the standings, I should say, the Cougars now 4-0-1 in the conference, in the Badger Conference. They're now 6-2-4 overall, and the Icebergs dropped to 0-5-0 in the conference and 3-11-0 overall. And again, for the Icebergs, next time we will see them will be on Saturday, January 14th against Wapaka. And we'll have that game for you here on the Iceberg Television Network starting at noon on Saturday, January 14th. Hope you can join us then. Thanks to the crew. Thanks to you for watching. And we will see you in a week from Saturday for more girls hockey. Till then, James Weingart from the Mann Center. This has been a presentation of WSTO Sports and the Iceberg Television Network. And for more, go online, WSTO.tv. We'll see you, and icebergstv.com. We will see you on Saturday, January 14th for more hockey action. Till then, James Weingart from the Mann Center. Good night, and thanks for watching. Stage made by Elliott. Myers sends it around the backside of the net. Up in the corner here as we take under 2 minutes to play. And it's shot right in front, and they scored! Side of the net, they've scored again! 1 minute left in this second period, and the Icebergs have tied it up. Head toward the blue line. Pops back toward the other end. Hess with it now. 39 seconds to go. Into the zone. Hess with a couple of nice moves, and she scores!
This broadcast of Icebergs Hockey is brought to you through generous support of these WSTO supporters. Stoughton Hospital, a proud supporter of WSTO programming. Stoughton Hospital is a 2010 Wisconsin Forward Award Master recipient, providing exceptional personalized service. Trusted care close to home. The UPS Store of Stoughton. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it all in one place. 2364 Jackson Street, next to Papa Murphy's. Crest Funeral and Cremation Services. Love and concern in action. The three things Crest values the most are service, service, and service. A proud supporter of WSTO programming.
Thank you.